Macca's guides.
So now, as we begin Chapter 2, it's a little bit of a longer chapter, a little bit more involved, a little bit more combat, more puzzles, and everything. But one of the things it's going to have more of are collectibles. There are 6 collectibles. There will be 4 lorestones and 2 of the other type of collectible. You can grab your first lorestone pretty much here as the chapter begins by going to the right-hand side and into the village. And you should notice the lorestone kind of on the outer edge next to the fence. If you were to continue the chapter and kind of look behind you, you may also see it. This is going to be one of the easiest ones in the game. You'll go up to it and interact with it, filling up the column in the second slot. All of them are sequential and will be attained in order.
Strange and bloody life he led. And it happened in this land you have come to. Listen to his story, Senua, for it may in some small way illuminate your own.
Once the dialogue finishes, we will move on. You don't have to wait for it to finish, but just to keep the video interesting for those watching, I will include it when possible. We can then continue forward with the slave master here and continue along the main path, following him towards the entrance of the settlement. Unfortunately, the entrance is not available, so we will have to go around a little bit here.
It smells of death. He doesn't want
The settlement has fallen to the Draugar.
Oiga.
There is nothing but death beyond its gates.
I don't want to see what's in there.
Did you hear it?
Did you hear it? Don't listen.
Someone is suffering. Help me. You need to go inside. You need to help them. Someone needs your help.
Everyone is dead in there. Everyone.
Help us.
Do you want to join them?
You came here to help.
Let's go.
Listen to yourself.
What is beyond there is too dark.
We are leaving. Now.
Don't give me orders, slaver. We'll find another way in.
As the bridge across the water has fallen, we will have to take a right-hand turn here and follow a slightly different and longer path. You can hold LB to quote-unquote sprint here, but this is one of those walk-and-talk sections that is going to be building the story and introducing you into, some ideas, some character building, some backstory, and whatnot. So we'll just follow the path for the next minute or two until we reach the next little cinematic. Again, you are able to skip cinematics on your second playthrough or when you're playing via chapter select, but during your first playthrough, you will have to experience all of the cutscenes.
I thought your father protected these people.
He does. He did. You can't protect people from their own stupidity. It looks like they let their guard down. They brought this on themselves.
These Draugar, what are they? What is this evil he understands that we do not?
You see these graves? This is how we honor our dead. There will be no one to bury you.
These graves are new. So many bodies.
So much death.
Something's happened here. You haven't honored these graves. What happened?
I told you.
Draugar.
Draugar.
Are they?
Are
They
they
won't
human?
just kill you.
Are they from this world or another world?
It is far worse. It is what they do after. They
will kill you. They will kill us.
You still have a chance to save your life if you stop now.
You must trust yourself. Listen to your own mind.
Is it my life you're trying to save? He is scared.
Why? Why is he scared?
He knows what they are capable of.
Why would you bring him with you? Are you sure you wouldn't take the chance? We will be better too.
What if I escape?
What are you going to do, Senua?
What are you going to do?
Decide.
There's something here.
I need to find out what it is.
They're dead.
You're mad.
She's not mad.
Doesn't see the signs.
Don't make sense.
Stupid!
He doesn't.
You're mad.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't see the signs.
There is no way. I am going in there.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Wounded. Hurt. Defeated.
But you need him.
No, you're not.
But we need him alive.
He will try to escape.
She has.
Go on then. Do it.
Don't let the rage get the better of you.
The rage is coming.
Joshtopher, just moments ago, tried to kill you.
You shouldn't have saved him.
This was a mistake. Senua, he enslaves people.
How does it feel to be the one bound and helpless, waiting to die?
When this heals, I will kill you, mad woman.
For that, you'll need to stay alive.
So at this point, we've left the slaver behind and we can enter the settlement. I don't want to be explaining cinematics too much. I think this game is a lot more enjoyable if you interpret the story yourself and kind of take it as it comes. So I'll be keeping it pretty surface level of like my own personal opinions on what's going on. But on the surface level, we are reaching this settlement where clearly, you know, something has happened that is not good. You can explore all of these little houses as well to the left and to the right, but there's only kind of one main path to go, and that's through this door on the left. There are a few collectibles kind of coming up pretty shortly. I'll make sure to mention them as we come to them, but for now we are just going to be going through the houses and reaching the far end of the settlement.
The Northmen raided your village.
They enslaved people.
They took Dillion. Your beloved Dillion.
They killed him, Senua.
He died because of them.
Do you remember?
They took him from you. Your Dillion. They killed him.
At the end of the path, there will be a bridge that leads to the next part of the settlement, and it will have a symbol. We'll need to fill up this symbol in order to open up this bridge, and we've done these kind of puzzles before. There are 3 symbols, and we'll need to grab all of them in order to open it up. So the first symbol, directly to your left, you'll be able to find a path that leads into the back of this small house. And if you go into this house through the back, you can find a ladder. And if you climb that ladder, it should give you a vantage point to the first of 3 symbols. Just make sure you line up the sticks a little bit here. What you are looking for is the red sticks, and that will be the theme. That's a great color to try to follow around town to line up the sticks you need. So that'll take care of the left symbol. We can now go for the other 2 parts of the symbol by climbing back down the ladder and going back to where we came from.
Back into the past and hold you there.
You could have explored all of these areas before interacting with the gate and triggering the puzzle, but you're unable to grab the symbols until after you trigger the puzzle, which is why we did that first. You can then head back into town and go up the main road. And at the end of the path, you should be able to notice another set of red poles, and you can line them up in order to create the middle part of the symbol here.
Face your fear. Focus.
You found another path. One more to go. One more second.
Last but not least, you want to turn around, start heading back towards the bridge, and you'll find a door on the right-hand side. Enter through that door. This will allow you access to the back side and a little bit of a secret path you wouldn't be able to access otherwise. Once here, turn to the left, and you'll want to follow the path through the next house. As you go through the next house, you should be able to go up the hill to your right-hand side and go up the ramp. This ramp will loop around a little bit to give us a vantage point we previously wouldn't have been able to see. And this vantage point will line up some red sticks to create the third part of the gate symbol. This will also provide us a way to loop back through a shortcut back to the fence itself.
Focus. Go through it to the other side. Focus. You know what's coming.
With all three symbols found, let's loop back to the bridge itself. As I mentioned, you can take that shortcut back down and then go through the house directly in front of you, which leads back to the main path, and then that main path leads directly to the bridge. Once you reach the bridge, it should open it up, and it will begin a little bit of a cinematic and a little bit of a different story segment here. If you are going through checkpoint select, this checkpoint that just started now is called Welcome Home. And this is a checkpoint you will use to mop up a couple of collectibles which are coming up if you were to miss them in your first playthrough.
You've come home. It's your mother. Come in.
Can you hear us?
It's good.
She's singing.
It wasn't all bad, was it?
That voice.
Remember? The mirror, Senua. It will help you fight your mirrors.
You have to take it. Keep it with you.
My mirror.
As you interact with the mirror, this is actually an item you may be familiar with from the first Hellblade game. This is a combat aid that will allow you to build focus as you're fighting. You can then activate that focus in order to fight enemies more easily by manipulating time and slowing it down. And in some cases, a lot of enemies almost require this in a way, or else the fights can be really, really difficult. You'll see the mirror on your hip, and it will fill up with lights and rings, and as those rings kind of light up, you'll be able to use the focus. So here I go, building up the focus, and then I can press the right trigger to slow down time. And although I didn't do a very good job there, as I was trying to time my fighting with my commentary, you can imagine that once the time is slowed down, you can pretty much just land a combo and immediately end that enemy. One thing that is important is if you do a perfect parry, like I just did there, you are able to fill up your mirror pretty much instantly with one charge. So doing perfect parries can really help you in the fights as you play. During this fight, there are only going to be a few enemies. This is one of the shorter and easier ones in the game. But this will be something you do quite a bit of throughout the game. So you may want to practice your parries a little bit here, or change the difficulty accordingly if you feel as though you're not playing your best. You can also build your focus and then save that focus for the next enemy. So although you have focus available to you, you don't always have to use it immediately. After you do defeat a certain amount of enemies, it will transition you to a new scene. And we'll just follow the path right up the middle here during this scene.
I know this place.
She drowns in the past. All that she lost, tearing at her with dead hands and eyes of fire. Her village, just cinders now. The past is never past. Her father, Senua.
Did you think you could escape your past, Senua? You tried to run, didn't you?
She can't forget. You can never forget.
You thought you got away.
No,
You thought you left it behind in hell.
Dillian.
Dillian, you're Dillian. You're lovely, Dillian.
But you were It will hold you forever in darkness.
The only way.
Take your darkness with you. It's yours.
Be in control.
You will never leave your past behind. It binds you in.
You'll drown in the memory of it.
Helpless.
She will be lost in grief forever.
I carry it with me.
Learn to hold on to it.
It drives me forward.
She cannot forget.
It's a promise. Not a prison.
Keep it close.
Don't let the past stop you.
Don't let it drag you down.
Your destiny awaits. Look up.
As we come out of the cinematic, we get transported back to where we were previously, right after solving the puzzle, and we now have access to the bridge that we want to cross to get to the next part of the settlement. As we enter this next section of the settlement, there are 2 collectibles that I will have to make sure you put your attention to. As you enter, turn slightly to the right and then enter into the house through the wooden boards.
Fading as I
There is a ladder here which you can climb just to see where you're headed in terms of the mission, but we are going to skip it as it is optional. There's also an altar here you can kind of interact with, but as you exit the house, take a left-hand turn and then take another left-hand turn and go through the wooden gates. As you enter into this open area, take another left-hand turn and go underneath the logs here. And as you enter this next area, which is decently well hidden, you should be able to find your next lorestone. I'll let you enjoy the backstory here.
The Skalds say that in Grettir's time, a nearby farm was plagued by hauntings. A shepherd called Glamour was killed by some evil force, found dead in the snow, bloated and black. His body could not be taken to burial because he was held fast to the ground. So it was left. 3 days after his death, the body was missing.
From this lorestone, we can also find our first quote-unquote face collectible. I'll show you how those work. So let's backtrack a little bit. Crouch under the wood we use to get in. Exit the area through the right to get back to the main path. And then take a left-hand turn looking up the hill to locate the flame. Run towards the flame and look to the right of it. If you look to the right of it, you should notice a face. This is a face that is made of stone, and when you focus on it, it almost works like an illusion, and it clears away the face to reveal a secret path. There are 17 of these in the game, and as you go into the secret path, you will always find a tree at the end of it. Interacting with the tree will light up one of the white dots in the spiral and play a little bit of backstory.
In all the places of the earth, they know that the gods and spirits affect man's path. All the misfortune that befalls man lies at their feet. If you have eyes to see, you see their presence and their power. Keep your eyes open, traveler, and you might see their faces.
Each tree is uniquely numbered 1 through 17 and will fill up the appropriate dot in the spiral so you can keep track, and you can always mop up after if you want. Let's head back to the main path here and then cross by through the next bridge in order to progress the mission. We're headed towards the fire off in the distance.
That scream,
But
voice, something dark, Senua.
you need to go up now.
Don't let them see you coming.
You need to find out.
Don't let the monsters find you.
You can do this, Senua. We believe in you.
She knows what it's like to fear. As a child, scared of the night, her mother's soft voice calmed her. But now, she's alone. And there's more to fear than just the darkness. There are ghosts that walk in the noonday sun, monsters that climb out from under the bed. Some shadows can't just be dispelled with light. Some shadows don't want to scare you. They want your blood, your flesh, your life. But the voices are calling.
They're calling. Something is drawing them. Keep moving towards it. The glow of the light. Go quietly. Slowly. Iltoika. What does that mean? What does that mean? It's terrifying. So beautiful. You can't sense the evil here. Is it near? Listen.
Torture. Kill you. They'll kill us. You could still turn back. She can barely move, she can barely walk. Stop. What can you see? Control your flow. Control it. You can do this. The light is so enticing.
We want to keep moving towards it.
We'll lead you to where you need to be.
She can't get in here. Find another way.
You can do this.
It's easy to turn back, turn away, when every nerve is screaming with fear. Be safe, be quiet, run and hide, run away. But to turn back is to lose yourself, lose your way, defeated and dead-eyed. When the path ahead is clear, soaked in blood and bile. But
We will be forced to turn around here and start heading the opposite way. This game obviously isn't necessarily set firmly in reality, so the path has now changed behind us and is leading to a completely different area. But it will kind of lead onto the cliff sides around where the Draugas are, where the flame is in the middle of the area. This is the next checkpoint, which I believe is called the Drauga Ceremony. And there are a lot of little vantage points here that you'll be able to see into the interior, which we are kind of headed towards as a part of the story.
I journey to these darkest lands to heal those overcome by fear and hate. However dark it seemed, I always found a ray of light. In this wretched land, by far the darkest of them all, it seemed the shadow would never lift. But I knew I would find my light.
Who is he? He knows her.
He feels us.
Reaching out to us in the dark.
You have to help him, Senua.
This is our quest.
This is our destiny.
Our mission.
Senua, would you give your life for these outsiders?
In my darkest hour, it was an outsider who saved me.
This man, his kin killed yours. You should want his blood, not to give him aid.
We're going to continue along the path here now that the story has progressed a little bit And we will get to a cliff's edge that we will need to shimmy across. Just after we get across, there will be a lorestone collectible, the 3rd out of 4 available in Chapter 2. So as we shimmy across, you'll notice part of the ceremony and ritual going on in the center of the area.
Look what they do to those who fight.
And as you get across, let's head down the path a little bit, and we'll keep our eye out for a little side area with the lorestone. Head down the hill towards the ledge and drop down the ledge here. After you come around this corner to our left-hand side, you're supposed to go straight in order to make progress. But if you take a quick peek to your left right here, you'll notice that there is a ladder. We're going to climb that ladder. And I actually was up here and didn't even realize there was a collectible here on my first playthrough. What you do is you head up the path, and then there is a stone wall that you can mantle over halfway up here. And as you mantle over it, it reveals another path that leads us to our next lorestone.
The Skalds tell how the revenant Glamour roamed the settlements, terrifying all those who lived there. Each one he killed, in turn, rose to walk beside him. Thus, evil begets evil. But the man Grettir was proud and overbearing, and thought the Draugar no match for his strength.
We can then head back to the main path, and we'll follow the kind of linear section until we get to the next chapter or checkpoint. Shimmying through the rocks ahead of us, by the way, does lock you out from returning, so you'd have to restart the whole checkpoint if you go through here and miss the lorestone.
How could you make them stop? What are they? It's too much. What are they? It's just too much. They're not human. They can't be. They're monsters.
The right of blood and fire. You will never understand this power. Something is coming.
I don't want to go down there. You have to. She has no choice. There's no other path. But he will drown in the blood. Blood and bones. Our body. Blood and bones. And bodies. We can't stand it anymore. We can't. Shh, don't. A sound. What's that? No, listen. Screaming, screaming. The bone is bones creaking. Close your eyes. Flesh. The sound is worse than murder happening above your head. It's too much. I can't move. She can't move.
Keep moving, Jester. Don't stop.
The one whose voice cuts through the chaos. He is her next sign, the next step on her path. She will bathe in blood, her sword will sing, and she will free him. Dark triumph.
She has us! She's fighting!
After this cinematic, a quite lengthy battle section will begin. So we're going to follow all of our regular rules, except now we do have our little focus mirror on our hip, which does allow us to slow down time and take care of enemies a little bit more quickly. Evade when you can, perfect parry when possible, and generally I like to use quick attacks over heavy attacks. You can block and evade when you need to. Some of the enemies do have throwing weapons now that you will have to either dodge. I don't know if perfect parrying is very useful against those. I typically try to evade or block when possible.
Cut me loose.
What's he going to do?
Please.
Earth is shattering. His natural set him free.
What is your name?
Senua.
He's not free.
I've been waiting for you.
Do it. Do it now. It's here. Help me. His voice terrifies. She is coming. Can you feel her? She can feel it. Something from the other world is coming.
Please.
It's here. Help me. Do it! Get out! Run! Run! Find out.
So despite our best efforts at interrupting the ceremony, they were successful in summoning El Toiga, and that is why the earth is shattering. But luckily, we were able to untie the stranger and follow him up to safety. At this point, we will progress to the next checkpoint of Chapter 2 called Meeting the Stranger. And as this cutscene ends, there will be an achievement that unlocks for story progression, although there are still a few minutes left in the chapter.
To hide from the light now. Because he will hunt us. Find our trail as soon as he can. You're not safe now. Let's go.
So there goes our second story-related achievement. Each story-related achievement is worth 100 gamerscore, except the last one, which is worth 150. There are still 2 collectibles to go, so we're going to make sure to grab both of them during this last checkpoint before Chapter 3 starts in only a few minutes. At this point, though, you can mostly follow the stranger that we met, and they'll let you know some of the backstory.
Why were you bound to that pole? What were the Draugar doing?
I'm calling to the creature, drawing her.
As you do reach this kind of bridge in front of you, the natural story progression will be to take a right-hand turn and go down the hill, but there will be a collectible hidden on the left. So at this fork in the road, take a quick left-hand turn, and you may notice a somewhat obvious face in the rocks. We're going to use our focus to reveal the secret path behind the face. Walk forward in order to find the tree, which is the second of 17. Interact with it in order to get the dialogue that accompanies it.
What are you going to do? What can we do? Here, they once said that Loki lies imprisoned in a cave, trapped by his enemies, who set a serpent above to drip venom on his face. His wife, Sigyn, sits beside to catch the venom in a bowl, but when she must leave to empty it, the poison falls unabated. His pain is so great that he thrashes and writhes. And here above, we see the earth shake and break apart.
We'll now head back to that main path and follow the stranger down the hill. There is one more lore stone that we will grab along the way. It is definitely not hard, but it is a little bit hidden.
I need to return home to my people.
Come with him. He can help you.
If you come with me, I will offer you what help I can. But I have to warn you, the creature stalks my village. We can offer you refuge for a time, but not safety.
You've seen her before?
They have no...
As you come to this section of the path, there will be another fork in the road. You are supposed to go right to make progress, but we are going to go to the left. This one actually isn't that obvious of a side path, but if we follow it kind of around the rocks, down the hill, and to the end, there will be our final collectible of Chapter 2 and our 5th lore stone of the game.
The Skalds say that Grettir fought and killed the Draugar Glamour. But not before Glamour had cursed him. His strength would be turned against him. His deeds bring death and exile. And he would be always before Grettir's eyes, making him afraid to be alone. He saw all sorts of phantoms wherever he looked. And thus, people who see things that aren't there are said to have Glamour's eyes.
As we are on the final checkpoint of Chapter 2, with all of the collectibles done, we mostly have story and cinematics to go at this point. So we're going to be following the stranger, and I will rejoin you here as Chapter 2 concludes.
The master. Maybe he escaped.
We don't know his name.
ThatNlCKster?
We do now.
I didn't ask his name.
ThatNlCKster of Borgarvirki.
There. We need to go there. He knows. He knows.
You know it? Can you tell me how to get there?
She can't forget. You can never forget. That memory lurks. If you face it, the past will free you.
Yes, but why would you want to go there? I'll kill you. Worse.
You need to go there, Senua.
Don't doubt, don't be a coward. He can help you.
He will show you the way.
You don't need that monster.
What was the name?
ThatNlCKster.
By the gods. Oh, what a terrible thing this is. The Draugar were always savage. This is worse than I ever thought possible.
Look, that monster, ThatNlCKster, is still there.
Still alive.
What are you going to do, Senua?
You know what to do.
We don't need him anymore.
What do you want to do about him?
Nothing. Leave
I
him.
don't need him. You can tell me where I need to go.
He cares about him.
Well, if you leave him, he will die. Draugar. Or simply starvation.
Don't doubt, Senua.
If the Draugar took him, it would be no less than he deserves.
Help me.
She is weak.
Don't feel pity. He doesn't deserve it.
She cannot do it.
Something about him.
She saw it.
Not just a monster.
She saw it.
A ray of light.
He is evil. There is no choice. So stupid. She's not listening to us. Stupid. She is saving him.
That monster.
That wound looks bad, ThatNlCKster.
I don't want to talk
And
to
if you accept my hospitality, I can have it treated. You will not make it far alone.
I will come with you, but this changes nothing. Do not expect any gratitude from me or my father.
How could I?
You still haven't told me what she is. Draugar.
So many questions.
She's a giant. They awaken at sundown.
A giant.
A cursed land.
But now she has help. Fargrimr knows this land.
Many have tried to fight them, but all have failed. They're immortal. Maybe the gods can kill them, but there are no gods in these lands. The giants, they hide by day and hunt at night. You may think, well, at least there's some respite by day. But know this. The nights grow longer. And come winter, there is no day. Just endless night. Soon the time of man will end.
As this cinematic concludes, so does Chapter 2, with Chapter 3 just ahead of us. Thank you for watching the video. Drop a like, share the video with a friend. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.